Question. Are you a parent that has young girls and you haven't had the talk with them about explicit photos and sending them to boys? Have you had the talk with them about the double standard? Because I believe that last night's episode was really a good teaching moment, especially for young girls, because we know it really doesn't affect boys too much. And I believe that if you're talking to your young girls about sex or birth control, that this conversation of doing sex tapes, taking topless photos and sending them to your boyfriend, fiance, husband, whomever, that conversation, they go hand in hand. We're in 2025, okay? I know that some woman that's not too bright, yeah, I don't care what degree you have, I don't care, that's going to send an inappropriate, explicit photo to their boyfriend, fiance, husband tomorrow. And then cry about it a year from now if they break up, the engagement is called off, I don't want to be married to you anymore, and now that ex has become vindictive and malicious. Yes, it's a crime, but people get away with a lot of things. People can say, "Oh, I accidentally lost my phone." Like, why do we put ourselves in situations like this? That's the problem that I have, and I believe that last night's episode is just a really good teaching moment. I have two bonus daughters, and they're grown now. When I did have the opportunities to talk to them when they were young, I took advantage of it. My husband and like we would be out to dinner, and I would tell them, do not take any explicit photos and send them to your boyfriends. Don't ever do it. And I would let them know my ex-husband doesn't have any photos or videos of me, and your father doesn't have any videos or photos of me. No one ever will. And I just think that that's really the big elephant in the room. I believe that this is like really the main problem that I don't know if a lot of people are even going to discuss. Yes, Kenya's a mean girl. Yes, what Kenya did was vicious. And yes, Brit started all of this, and you really can't control how someone is going to respond to you. But there wouldn't be any pictures to post if there weren't any pictures taken. This is just the reality. And I just don't understand how women can be so stupid sometimes. And like I said, we're in 2025. So if you're thinking about doing something like that, then you fall in the stupid category. And I think that with Brit, I think that, if she gets with a good publicist, she could possibly turn this around. Hey, don't follow my example. This is what you should not do. I do believe that if Kenya really felt threatened by Brit, if she really felt that Brit was that type of girl that was going to, harm her, she would not have blown up those pics and put them on a grand display at her grand opening. She did not uninvite Brit, so she wanted Brit to be there. So what did Kenya think was going to happen? Like, luckily, for Kenya's sake, because Kenya probably would have been drugged the way Portia drugged her years ago. Brit probably would have drugged her all over that salon if she would have stayed just 30 seconds more. Kenya wanted her to be there. And I think that any woman would have lost it. They would have completely lost it. Brit would have approached her. I'm sure she would have tried to snatch those poster boards out of her hand, and Kenya probably had something premeditated. Maybe Kenya was going to fall back and act like Brit hit her or whatever, but that is Kenya's provoking nature. We watched her do that to Portia and all the antics she did with that. So this is just more of Kenya's antics. And she wanted Brit to be there. So I'm glad Brit wasn't there. But I just hate that Kenya even had pictures to blow up. Okay? Yeah, and I'm going to continue to harp on that. Yeah, no one can come for you with pictures like that if you don't have them out there. If you are a young woman, and don't take pictures with your fiance you think it's going to be forever. We got Portia going through a divorce. Kelly's going through a divorce. What's the other girl? Drew's going through a divorce. Kenya just got a divorce. Yes, you can't do that. Please, don't do that. Brit, she's still hurt and crying probably every night because she knows that somewhere someone has those pictures of her. Brit, you have a banging body and beautiful cheekbones. Unfortunately, women like you have the pretty girl syndrome. You thought that Kenya, an OG, was supposed to bow down to you. You're a beautiful woman, so I know that's what you're used to. Competition is something pretty girls never get used to. You're used to being number one and never number two. When Kenya was younger, she held the crown and title of Miss USA. When you were younger, you took explicit photos that's haunting you today. Yes, we have all made mistakes. That is very true. It doesn't change the fact that Kenya never came for you. It was all in your head. It was all in your dome. And that is why I say you have the pretty girl syndrome.